All right, so this was kind of an exhausting conversation. I was sitting down with Elizabeth and Muriel to discuss the truck design, and we were trying to figure out how the progression of the three truck designs for the fish would happen. So we got into crazy details trying to figure out how to transition from the taco truck to the ham and cheese truck, all the way to the bacon truck, while maintaining some kind of uniform structure for all three of them. So some parts of this conversation might be a little boring, but I think it gives you a really good idea of what it's like when you actually get into the specificity of things when making a film. And I think that's really important. These kind of discussions happen all the time in film production, so there's definitely stuff you can learn from it. Okay, cool. We're recording. I'm gonna share my screen. So let's start with the taco truck. So do you want to go over things, Elizabeth? Maybe say a few words, like explaining some of I don't know, your thought process, or especially for the fish's truck, because he's the one who's going to be changing them.
Yeah, so what I wanted to start off with this was, a simple kind of like cart-like design. I lived in El Paso, and, I went to a lot of, Mexican food stands, and they were, just kind of really boxy, and I wanted them to be immediately read as Mexican tacos. So I kind of like the bottom two designs. The first one has like the rotating sign on top with a little sombrero. The other one has a more, Mexican style architectural influence on it. And then that one has a bar where they can kind of like sit and like eat their tacos and pick up their orders on the side. They both would work very well for the intro. The whole introduction where he's prepping the stand to open. So, and then there's a variation on the bottom right of a different sort of roof for the bottom right stand. But I feel like the more Spanish style works better.
Yeah, I agree. So your favorite is this one on the left with the sombrero, and this one?
Yeah.
I think this one will work great with kind of like the people like standing in line to buy the food, while this might be like the chairs thing is not going to work because there's going to be like a line of people waiting to eat. So I would definitely avoid any like seating area. So that's why I really do I like this one because it is very simple, and I think this sombrero thing could be very like, it's like you don't really see trucks like that in, at least like in New York, with like a sombrero like rotating around like on top of it. So I think it'll be funny and very like cartoony, and it's gonna go with the style of the film, of being something that's like a little ridiculous. Like I don't think a lot of food trucks are gonna go through all the effort of setting up something like that.
Okay, so yeah, that was something I was gonna ask. Like, if you wanted me to put them on trailers or wheels or something that makes it look a little bit mobile.
Yeah, I think having it mobile is like it was gonna keep up with the. It's gonna be more New York style, because I didn't see any truck that is the like permanent, like more like a store. This was seems more like a store, like it would be on a street, like on the sidewalk, as an actual place that is permanent. And this one is like more like light-hearted, portable thing. You can just drag it, and it seems like it's going to be easier to break it down too.
Okay.
This one might be a little too big. So if you think we can use the sombrero thing somehow on that design,
Okay.
and I do like the Mexican style that you have here. So you think you can stick it somewhere, like just so it's more clear that it's Mexican, either that or the sombrero, like some kind of
Yeah. Okay. So
Mexican.
you want to go with the upper right, like in terms of size and mobility, but then kind of incorporate the rotating sombrero sign, then maybe a little bit of the architectural influences.
Yeah, I think the sombrero sign is going to be funny, especially when he destroys it. It could be like fall on the floor, like it could be something that gets destroyed, so that could be funny. And just maybe for the shape, I like that you did a cartoony shape, which means it's not like an actual rectangle. Like you obviously understand that it's not Like you're not trying to create a realistic cart. You're doing like a cartoony cart.
I think I'm just a little bit confused how you want to be doing these transitions more from one card to the other, because this would influence in the design, right? Are they the same? Do they all have the same infrastructure, but what changes are some things in the outside? How is that gonna work?
Well, like I said, it's supposed to be built on one of the design, and then it's just going to be like using those parts and just like at the end it's going to be like more like destroyed. So that why when I'm looking at that, like it's definitely not going to be something like this, because this seems like it's thought out and planned to be a bacon place, except for the signs, which is funny. Like, but the shape of it seems like it's just like this. It is what it is. It's not. It doesn't look like it's in ruins of something else. You know what I mean?
One of the challenges I came up with designing was because, like, one would influence the other, so I wasn't able to, like, fully take, the taco ones were, the base part, but then, like, moving forward, it was difficult to determine, based on, because, it's a progression.
Yeah. No, you're right. I know. We need to like maybe establish the first one and then like build on that.
Okay, so the structure, the physical structure will be kind of like the same, following the first card, and this the same card. He's just going to be changing the outside until it gets more deteriorated.
So I think like smashing the two walls of the cart and like opening it to like it's not a cart anymore. It's more like a stand.
Okay.
And that way he's like, for the last part, he like, I don't know, he throws the food away and like just puts like a big pot of bacon or something, or like what did you have here? Like you have like a griller for the bacon.
Yeah.
So maybe he just takes out the griller from the back and like just puts it in front and stick a sign with it just says just bacon, and it's just a sign and griller. That's it. So like, yeah, it's not It's okay if it doesn't look like a card at the end. It's okay if it looks like stupid. But I kind of need you like to just figure it out. Like I can't really explain or like come up with specifics on how to do it. It just needs to be like, try something and let's see if it works. Like I'll give you freedom to. We can start with the design of the taco truck that we picked together, but then I don't really know how to do it, so it just changes into a different one.
So for the fish, he's gonna start with the taco. Do you remember which one is the next one?
Yeah, the next one is the ham and omelet. Yeah, the ham and cheese omelet truck thing.
Ham and omelet, and then it goes to the
Bacon.
bacon.
Just bacon, nothing but bacon.
Okay.
I like the signs. Like it's funny with the chair like on the floor. Like that's definitely the spirit. We just need to base it on the first truck.
And the pig, the pig will be the sushi, right? The first one.
So the first one is actually the fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, in the final script I changed it to the fish and chip. So I'm gonna screen share. Hold on. Okay, for the fish and chip thing, I definitely like this one. Like I think it's funny because it's well, first of all, it's more like in line with the style of the food trucks in the city, but also it's kind of similar to what the fish was doing. So I think it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funnier when we clearly see that like he's trying to like do something to imitate him in a way. So like he also has his own truck. And then it's going to be funnier when we go to the next one. It's going to be like fancier. So the sushi is definitely going to be fancier. But I think because this is the first thing that the pig is doing, it's funny to not go too creative with it, because otherwise the joke would be like too strong too soon. So that's the only reason I'm going with this. And not with any of the other ones that are like they're better, but they're like more fancy, and it seems like it doesn't make that much sense that it would have something so huge. This seems more like And I don't know. It's just funny to me that he has this truck with the flag there, and he's just standing in the window and like serving fish and chips out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But how are we gonna know that it's fish and chips, like specifically?
Well, I mean that was a problem I was trying to play with because some of the other designs like they read more fish and chips, but they're more permanent. So I was trying to figure out a way that I could combine the two. I tried to put like the same style of roof on the truck perhaps, you know, but beyond that I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, well, this one that doesn't have to be like similar to the sushi thing because that's going to be changed completely. So that's like the design there is individually for that particular scene. It's not going to have to like transform later.
Okay.
So we can do whatever we want. I'm just trying to think what would like a fish and chips thing have. It's basically just like oil, like deep fried oil stuff, right? This design is fine. It needs to have something more to make it more than just a truck with a flag. So right now there's nothing about it that says anything that is like English or like you know.
And you wanted to stay away from like actual depictions of like I could stick like like a giant like fish and chips like plastic thing on the roof of the truck, but I don't know if that would be too like in your face.
Yeah, we don't want to have like the actual animal as a sign. So like anything but the actual like animal.
Or maybe something with ocean references. That
Ask like maybe like kind of nautical themed, like ropes and the whole.
Yeah. Oh, maybe like one of those wheels, like on a boat. They have these rescuing wheels, or
Yeah.
how are they called? I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, and they have like the very specific colors also, and like very specific like pattern, like red and white pattern on them. I think.
Yeah.
Stripes.
Put that on the truck somewhere.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Make it look like a kind of a ship style.
Okay.
Okay, and like go a little more cartoony. Like it seems like kind of realistic, the truck there. So like try to make it a little more like silly,
Okay.
but still keeping like a truck with wheels and stuff.
All right.
Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think we're pretty good on that. Let's move on. Okay, so this is pretty good. The one on the left. This is like how a lot of sushi places are, like with that menu that is like covering so much. The text is actually going to be even a lot smaller, and then we're going to like just be zooming in to show like what it says. The problem with this one is also that the seating area it's a little bigger. So I would say that, but can you just like also just make it like more Japanese, like you had that little cat, in the other one. Like there's gonna be also like I want a little thing sticking out where the sushi is going to be served on.
Okay.
Like you have in like all the other ones, and on that we can have these little plates of like chopsticks and soy sauce and the little cat, and these are cool. The little lamps, I guess, right?
Mhm.
That's cool. But you had out in the first one, you had something else that made it. Oh, it was the chairs, I think, actually.
Yeah. But you don't want the chairs.
No, we can't have chairs. Maybe. Oh, I know.
The left side of the building, like I don't know if you can really tell, but like I wanted one of those like Japanese like rice screens with the wooden slats.
Oh, okay. I couldn't really get it because there's no color there, I guess.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. What about like the roof? You know how I think it's Chinese actually. They have these certain kind of roof. Is it purely Chinese?
no, Japanese use it too.
Yeah, more like that when it's like a triangular shape. So maybe add like that as a shade like all around it or something.
Okay.
Can you make it shorter and wider? So like instead of a rectangle, do it like more like this a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good on that? Can we move on?
Yes.
All we have left is the juice truck. Yeah, this is pretty much what I imagined, this one. Like very wide, so they're gonna have room for both of them. One standing next to the machine, one like serving. I think we still need to have that thing sticking out where they can serve. I like it. I just think these things, like what is it, like an orange or something?
Yeah, I was trying to think of something that I could like put on top of the truck that would make it read, like juice. Like
No,
I was
you're
just
right. I just want it to be green.
yeah.
So the stuff there needs to be green, whatever it is, because it's like a,
I
it's
mean, instead of oranges, they could be limes.
um maybe
'Cause, like,
just like a juice cup, like a big juice cup with like a straw, like you have a straw over here, but just have it like a cup, a green cup with a straw. I don't know if I mean it doesn't look very interesting, but like what else could be there? Like cucumbers, apples. I don't know. Like what's
Maybe kind of like that's the head thing of Carmen Miranda, you know.
the what?
You know the fruit thing from Carmen Miranda. She has it's like this hat that's full of fruits. Have you seen? It's like a woman that dances.
would you want
Oh yeah.
just like all
Actually,
kinds
that's
of like fruit and stuff more so than just one orange?
yeah. Actually, that might work. Like something like this. Hold on, I'll share my something like that. That could work with like bananas and like grapes, and so it's gonna be like just a big variety of fruits on
Okay.
top, as if there's like a big hat for the truck.
Okay.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. I like it. So that's it. And as for the bacon truck and the ham and omelet, you're just gonna you'll figure it out, and I guess we'll see how it looks.
Okay, so you wanted here. Let's go back to the taco truck, I guess. So, in order to make it, because in our last meeting you said you wanted a ham and cheese omelet bar, like an open air omelet bar. Am I correct?
A ham and cheese what?
Like an open air omelet bar.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said like breaking the walls so it becomes like an open thing now, and you can just put like the pots in front, and that's where it makes the omelet.
And then the bacon would be kind of like the same thing. They wouldn't change that much.
You know what? Let me just do something. I'm gonna you open Photoshop and draw for you. How about that? So like say the walls of this thing like fell to the floor, like behind him or something, and there's just like three pots in front of him, standing like three things that they can fry on, and this turns into like the omelet bar. So in here we have like one kind of omelet. Here we have like another kind of omelet, another kind. Maybe like as for the sign, and this is where the fish is going to be standing. Maybe like how would the sign like it can't just be something like that. That's how I want the sign to be for the last thing. So maybe it could still be for that actually. Maybe it could be like a nice sign for this one, and then when we turn to the last thing, he like kicks both of these off, pushes that to the front, and just sticks a bunch of bacon on it, and writes like in with his own handwriting like bacon or something. So you see what I mean? So we start like with a nice little salad thing and a nice sign that he gets out of nowhere. I don't know where he gets it from. And it still has like all the fonts and like it still looks nice. And then when he gets mad, he kicks those to the floor, or maybe even kicks all of them, turns around and gets like a big griller from the front, from the back, sorry, and just puts it in the front and sticks a bunch of bacon in it and writes like bacon over here.
So maybe it could be something like the cartoon we have from Elizabeth from Bacon Truck. the one in the left, this one, kind of like the style for the omelet and ham.
Oh yeah. That's a great idea actually.
Wait,
Like
And
what are we looking at?
like imagine the just bacon sign would be like the ham and cheese thing, and this is where he would make like the omelets, and then, but the thing is like how did this thing came from the truck from before?
because the truck that she has already in the just bacon file. It's not a truck, it's just a table in front with the banner, and then behind the cooking place with
Yeah.
the griller. Yeah, that one.
Like, I wasn't really, yeah, like I was trying to show like it was made from, parts, but since I didn't know, what progression we'd be taking, like
Yeah.
I couldn't use any specific things. But, it just this jumbled together thing I was trying to, with like just kind of like a box type.
Because this could be the one for the ham and this could be the style for the ham and
Ham and
eggs.
cheese. Yeah. But how is this how did this come from like that truck?
But this would be already the how do you say already the truck broken in some parts, no? Because then with this design he could just kick everything, just keep the grill, and then have the just bacon.
So like imagine this thing was like inside the truck. You know what I mean? And when he kicked the walls of the truck, this is all that's left.
Okay, so you'd have like the flattened walls, like, that's where this would be sitting on?
The what?
Like, because, like imagine you have a cube and then you just like flatten it out and then
Yeah.
like this would be revealed to be inside?
Yeah, this is like what's inside, which we didn't see before.
Okay.
This is where he has like the pans, and not the back part though, just the front. I don't think we need the back part. And this is like where he cooks the ham, the cheese thing, the ham and cheese omelet thing. And as for the sign,
He writes that we could have him writing that one, right? And then he would just scrape it and write just bacon. Wouldn't it be something like that?
yeah, well,
With just bacon.
so another thing for this truck, also we need to do it a little wider, like it's very narrow, so that we can write pork tacos. Well, not pork tacos, but like tacos, best tacos in New York or something. So we need to write that here, and then when he kicks all of that off, I guess the sign can just pop out. Like a sign just pops out of after he kicks the walls of the truck, and then he writes by hand, just bacon, nothing but bacon. And then when we transition to the next one, he's just going to plaster like another blank page on this and write again. We start with this truck. It kicks off the walls and it kicks this part to the floor, and then we are exposed and only seeing this part, and this sign just like flaps out like it like as if it was like folded the whole time. But there's nothing written on it, and he just comes up and writes just not just bacon, sorry, writes omelet, cheese, whatever. And here we're gonna have like pans and stuff. This is where the omelet bar would be.
Okay.
So this is stage 2. And then in stage 3, he just plastered, like you did over here. He plastered some kind of paper on the sign over here and kicks all the pans that were here before, all of these pans that were here, kicks them off, and then like put something in the center that just has bacon on it. Like, is there a smaller version of this or something like that you can put on in front here, like just a big griller?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the difference, like visual difference between the omelet and the bacon thing is going to be minimal. Just the difference of like the sign being present,
The sign being present, the pans are on the floor, like we threw them on the floor, and the big griller underneath the sign.
Okay.
What about he just get the sign, the omelette and cheese, the omelette and ham. Every time I say something different, he grabs that sign and then he sticks the sign by the sides of the griller, and everything you have is just the griller and then just bacon.
Oh, that could be funny. But
Because
we're
you get to a point that there isn't anything else. There isn't more food truck, just the griller, and it's also very aggressive too. It's like
yeah.
just throwing the pig in there.
But where was the griller the whole time?
The griller it would be behind here, right? How it is the just bacon we're drying already, you know?
So we did see a griller behind it.
Yeah, I think there would
Okay,
be a
I
griller.
guess there was a griller as well as so like say the griller was like over here behind the pig, the fish, and this is where most of the action was.
Yeah.
And then he grabs the sign, takes it off of these, and sticks it into the two sides of the griller, which is behind him,
Yeah.
and then brings it to the front, like turns around, and then we see that there's like something else written on it, just bacon. Okay, that could work. And he
Yeah,
kicks
I
this,
like
he
that.
kicks this off to the right, like he just pushes it off or something.
Yeah, I think that's a good progression of, like breaking down his, what he had.
Yeah, like he doesn't have anything but a griller and a sign. So that's funny.